It's a little late here, 11 minutes after 1 p.m. on this Tuesday, which is the 20th of May in the year 2025. It's a wonderful day, and I am so thankful to God. I was having some problems with getting my titles on and everything because I've changed my classification on here. So I'm doing something a little different. But dear God, as I sit before you to speak, I pray to you that my soul you will keep. And if I should die before I finish, I pray to you, dear God, in the name of Jesus, that any outstanding sins will be forgiven. Amen. I am so thankful, so elated to be here today. It's such a wonderful, wonderful day. And for that, I am grateful. I'm checking to make sure that I am live here today on these channels that I have chosen to make sure that everything is going out like it should be. It's such a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. And today I'm going to talk about helping someone along the way. I remember my doctor said to me when uh, he had checked my eyes, and they were doing so much better, and something had happened to one of them, and then it had been amended. And so he said, you must have helped someone along the way. And I am just so grateful that people will recognize when God is working with and through you. It's just wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So I'm going to go right ahead, and it tells me that I am live. So I'm going to go right on and talk about it. And I have Psychology Today. I have outtheheart.com. I have also outtheheart.com, Psychology Today, and I have Microsoft Bing. So I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of helping others. And there was one that I wanted really, really, uh, I was excited about bringing, how your body reacts when you help someone. So it's just a wonderful thing to be able to help those along the way. And I ask you, if you will, please share this webcast, okay? Please share this webcast because someone somewhere needs to see this. They need to hear it about helping someone along the way. Helping someone along the way. And so far, I don't see anything here on Facebook. Let me see if I see something on my YouTube channel. Then I'll know where to go from there. If it's not on there, helping someone along the way. Who have you helped someone lately? Have you helped someone lately? There's so much we can do, so much we can do. God can bless us to do so many things to help people along the way. Do so many things to help people along the way. Okay, I am live. Okay, thank you, Lord. I am live on YouTube and Facebook. So that helps me. And now I will go on to my information that I'm sharing here with you today. All right, very good. Now, uh, key points here: the pros and cons of helping others. Offering help in some cases can perpetuate perceptions of inequality and incompetence. Next point here in being Microsoft being, it's unsolicited help can contribute to dysfunction. Then the next one is compassion fatigue and burnout can limit one's helping ability. My. So here's an October the 3rd, 2023 article, Psychology Today by Bobby Hoffman. When helping hurts, unexpected downsides of helping others. So we're going to start here first, but now remember we're going to the positive too. But this is good so that we'll know because I know probably every one of us has attempted to help someone at some time or another and we have been turned down. I remember I know someone that their house burned and people were giving and things to them and donating, and so one particular person that was part of that family didn't want anything used from anybody, didn't want anything used from anybody, and that's that person's prerogative. But there can be downsides of helping others. And so I've never forgotten that, okay? So you can transform lives through mindful support while avoiding personal harm. And it was updated October 3rd, 2023, and it's reviewed by Abigail Fagan. And the author is Bobby Hoffman, PhD. And this is to help us out. Offering help in some cases can perpetuate perceptions of inequality and incompetence. Unsolicited help can contribute to dysfunction. Compassion fatigue and burnout can limit one's helping ability. So let's see all about this here. Okay, the virtue of helping others is well chronicled. Celebrities like Bill Gates, Oprah Winfrey, Mark Zuckerberg, LeBron James, and Bono all champion charitable education and public health causes with personal endorsements and by donating their own money. In the United States, the average household gives 2% to 3% of their annual income to charity in a given year. In fiscal year 2021, the U.S. foreign and aid budget in 2021, the U.S. foreign aid budget was approximately $44 billion. Personally, you might find a family in need, help a roadside stranger in distress, or devote time to a struggling student by assisting with homework. So while these altruistic behaviors may help and may seem kind and considerate, there are at least 5 situations when offering help can lead to surprising and undesirable outcomes. According to Psychology Today, this article, it says there are at least 5 situations when offering help can lead to surprising and undesirable outcomes. All right, so let's get into it. Number one, help may promote perceptions of incompetence. So, the type of help we offer others can have unintended consequences. Providing too much assistance can actually undermine learning and self confidence. Yes, I have feel something in my throat, so please excuse me for just a few seconds. So we'll go back to it. I had to take a drink because my throat was not having it. Okay. So the type of help we offer others can have unintended consequences. Providing too much assistance can actually undermine learning and self confidence. So, in a recent study, SIRCSMA in 2023 discovered that when 6 to 9 year olds helped struggling peers, the type of help varied based on the perceived competence of the peer. Children were more likely to give empowerment help, useful problem solving hints that build skills, to peers judged as smart, but they tended to simply provide answers to peers seen as less competent. Hmm, wow. While well intentioned, this denies less competent peers the chance to practice critical thinking. Sirksma concluded that this biased helping could reinforce achievement gaps between students. So her work highlights the need to better understand how even our best intentions can sometimes inhibit others' growth. So, with greater awareness, we can offer help that empowers rather than diminishes those we aim to assist. And that is something to think about because we do treat people according to how we perceive them. That is so true. I had never ever thought of that in this way before, but it was talking about the students helping each other. And I'm going to go back to that because that's very important. So, Sirskma in 2023 discovered that when 6 to 9 year olds helped struggling peers, the type of help varied based on the perceived competence of the peer. Children were more likely to give empowerment help, useful problem solving hints that build skills, to peers judged as smart. I know you heard that, didn't you? But they tended to simply provide answers to peers seen as less competent. So while well intentioned, this denies less competent peers the chance to practice critical thinking. Sirksma concluded that this biased helping could reinforce achievement gaps between students. Her work highlights the need to better understand how even our best intentions can sometimes inhibit others' growth. With greater awareness, we can offer help that empowers rather than diminishes those we aim to assist. That is something to think about. Number two, help may promote dysfunctionality. Providing unbounded assistance can foster unhealthy dependence and erode self sufficiency. Research on learned helplessness shows that repeatedly helping someone without encouraging independent problem solving can make them passive and overly reliant on others. And this is a study by Mayer and Seligman in 2016. So the recipient may reduce their own effort and shift accountability to the helper. Furthermore, offering help without boundaries or accountability can enable dysfunctional behavior. For instance, studies suggest that removing assistance can increase substance abuse and addictive eating in those who have grown dependent on the aid. And that's a Beatty uh, study in 2008. So while the intention to help is admirable, it is essential to empower recipients to take responsibility for their actions and develop self reliance. So, with care and wisdom, helpers can avoid inadvertently promoting dysfunctionality or eroding the very capabilities they wish to enhance. So, I want to go through that again. Oh my goodness, this makes so much sense. So now they're talking about helping, and so this is so that 2008 study. While the intention to help is admirable, it is essential to empower recipients to take responsibility for their actions and develop self-reliance. With care and wisdom, helpers can avoid inadvertently promoting dysfunctionality or eroding the very capabilities they wish to enhance. Number three, helping can hurt. One incentive for helping lies in our intrinsic desire to validate our sense of self worth. Consequently, we anticipate acknowledgement from others when we engage in acts of kindness. And that is true. We do want some kind of acknowledgement. Now I appreciate when someone says thank you to me, but as far as harping on it and trying to let this one know, well, I did this for him, I did that for her, I don't do that. I don't do that. I remember one time I did that. That was when I was very young. And then it came to myself and I said, oh, that is so unnecessary. And that was years and years ago. And I learned from that when the Lord let me see myself. And I was proud of what I had done. And then when somebody would say something, I said, I did this and I did that. I did that. And then I did it so much that it started to sound foolish to me. And so that broke me up. And I thank God for that. But I do appreciate when people appreciate me, but they don't have to keep over and over again, over and over again. But I thank God. Okay. So one incentive for helping lies in our intrinsic desire to validate our sense of self worth. Consequently, we anticipate acknowledgement from others when we engage in acts of kindness. However, when assistance is offered without a commensurate exchange of appreciation or reciprocation, it can sow the seeds of resentment in the heart of the benefactor. Pragmatically speaking, offering help carries tangible repercussions. Helping impacts personal convenience as well as the investment of time and resources that could otherwise be directed towards self care and personal growth. An undercurrent of animosity may begin to develop towards the very recipients of our assistance, leaving the helper with a sense of underappreciation and a feeling of being taken advantage of. And that is so true. We really have to be careful, and this is making me think more and more about making sure that my motive is always the right motive, and then to do what's necessary and then go on. Help where help is needed, and do what my limit, go to my limit, and then go on. And that's what we have to do. So in some cases, this animosity can escalate to such an extent that certain individuals develop a covertly resentful martyr complex, an expectation of reciprocity for their sacrifices, and a subsequent sense of despondency when positive feedback is withheld. X line for example, in 2004. And there is one thing right now that, when there is an example and something has happened over and over to you in your life, and you've done things, and you say, hmm, well, and then you've seen the ways certain people act toward you, even though you help them, but then when you help them, it might turn out where you get some credit or recognition, and it becomes offensive to them because you get the credit and the recognition. And so there was one thing that I was asked to do, and I did it, and it seems like in the person deliberately tries to avoid saying anything about it because I made sure that I took the effort to let them know that I did complete this project, but hadn't said anything. And so, but that I cannot let animosity build up. I have to go on because there's so much that the Lord blesses me to do. To I can just go ahead and I can do what I'm doing that He blesses me to do and compensate for all of that because I know that what God tells me to do, He appreciates it. And not that He has to, and not that I'm so special, but when God gives us an assignment and we carry it out, I believe with everything in me that He is pleased with it. And you know how? Because He continues to bless over and over. That's how I know. Okay? So sometimes if we let other people's actions get to us and aggravate us or hurt our feelings, we can miss out on quite a lot. Yes, we can. So, whatever you do, if somebody doesn't give you the appreciation that you deserve, just go on and do what you do and keep on moving forward. Don't let it deter you from doing the good things you can do because I don't let it deter me. When you know for a fact that a person is deliberately not giving you that appreciation that should be given to you for doing something. Okay? So just keep on moving. So don't let any resentment build up, no animosity or anything. In some cases, animosity can escalate to such an extent that certain individuals develop a covertly resentful martyr complex, MARTYR complex, and expectation of reciprocity for their sacrifices and a subsequent sense of despondency when positive feedback is withheld. So that's a study by X-Line in 2004, the results. Okay. Number 4, consider unintended consequences. Okay, and so I'm in psychology today and help someone along the way. Okay, the pros and cons. Thank you so much for being here with me. I appreciate you for being with me. Hello, Apostle Eula Washington. I'm so glad you're here with me. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. Uh, I was getting ready to get on the phone because I seen your name or heard from you in a few days, and I did ask about you. I think it was Friday, so I was getting ready to do the best thing, and that was give you a call. I'm so happy you're here with me today. I love you, my sister. Number 4, and everyone else is here with me, and I don't see your name. I love you too. Thank you for being here. Number 4, consider unintended consequences. When offering help, we send subtle signals to others about ability. Unsolicited help can serve as a cue that the recipient is lower in ability, leading to negative self perceptions. And I remember one time, and you know how it is when somebody is in distress, and if we're around, what do we think of? praying for them and praying with them at the time. And I remember I was at the hair salon. This was some years ago, and a lady went into a physical crisis. She was having uh, a crisis, a physical crisis, and I asked her if I could pray for her, and she said no. She certainly did. And then I found out that her belief in the organized religion that she was a part of at that time, and she still might be, uh, did not allow other people to pray with them or for them. I guess if they're not of that particular sect. Okay? So she said no. And then it was explained to me by another person why she said no. Yes. So unsolicited help can serve as a cue that the recipient is lower in ability, leading to negative self perceptions. So, as bystanders, school aged children judged peers who received unsolicited help from teachers as lower in ability compared to non helped peers, even when their performance was equal. And this is a Graham and Baker study, which was done in 1990. And unsolicited help is especially problematic for parents. While we often believe that sympathy, generous praise, and minimal criticism may be positively motivating, we can inadvertently communicate that the child cannot complete the task without help. Thus, we should always consider unintended effects of help while still recognizing the overall value of such practices. So, because you were turned down at one time, don't give up. Because where one person to turn you down, probably five, six, seven, even more people will accept your help. So don't be discouraged. Number five, beware of burnout. Sometimes our desire to help those in need can be so strong that we develop a sense of unrelenting passion toward help giving. However, excessive passion can promote compassion fatigue. Hear that? Excessive passion can promote compassion fatigue, which is a state of emotional and physical exhaustion that can occur when individuals are repeatedly exposed to the suffering and trauma of others. Compassion fatigue can result in a loss of compassion as the helper's emotional resources are depleted. The syndrome is especially prevalent for healthcare professionals, and repeated exposure to helping can promote job dissatisfaction, health issues in the helper, and eventual career derailment. And that's a study by Sinclair in 2017. So, offering help and support can lead to burnout when the demands of caregiving or helping exceed the individual's ability to cope. This chronic stress and exhaustion can lead to feelings of detachment, cynicism, and a reduced sense of personal accomplishment, resulting in the liability to offer help. Excuse me, I misread that word. Let me go back. I am very, very particular, and I'm going to slow down just a little bit. I know I'm going slow, but I need to get this just right. So, this chronic stress and exhaustion can lead to feelings of detachment, cynicism. Let's see what cynicism is, okay? I know many of you know what cynicism is, okay? Let's get here. Well, It was taking me to cynicism. I guess it's trying to get me to read a whole new article here. Okay, well, I'll just go back and I can pull up cynicism in another way. Okay, here it goes. It's bringing up this pessimism. So, I'm going to read a little bit about this pessimism, and it includes the cynicism, negative thinking. The glass is half empty, the storm clouds loom overhead, never with a silver lining. Pessimists get a lot of flack for their inclination toward negativity and their tendency to expect the worst in most situations. So, besides taking a toll on their mental health, their physical health may take a beating too. Pessimism, while it may be useful in isolation or in moderation, is associated with anxiety, depression, sleep disorders, hostility, high blood pressure, and heart disease. So it's a cynicism is a way of negative thinking. So we will uh, not dwell on that because I know you will go and find what you're looking for yourself. Okay, so what what it all means. Yes, we should aid those in need, but the best practice is to consider the totality of the circumstances before offering help. Because sometimes we want to just jump in and it might not be the right time. These things have to be considered. No, and sometimes we don't think before we act. And sometimes that can cause hurt feelings. And sometimes it could cause a lot of help. Okay? So unsolicited help is a double edged sword as the offering can have negative consequences. While the act of offering help may be well intentioned, it can inadvertently contribute to dysfunctional behaviors in recipients and impact the well being of the helper. It's important to strike a balance between offering assistance and promoting independence and personal growth in others. And I remember this time where uh, there's a person who was uh, a part of our circle by marriage, and there were some things that went on, and some communications, and some helping, and was concerned. And later, a certain person asked if we had a certain prescription drug that could be handed to that particular person. And not only us, but then another part of our circle was also asked for that same particular prescription, which was a narcotic. And the consequences of helping people sometimes turns into that. And helping, it could be, they could end up depending on you, or it could be a negative thing as well as a positive thing that you might have thought. It could be well intentioned, but it can inadvertently contribute to dysfunctional behaviors in recipients and impact the well being of the helper. And in that situation, when not only were we asked for the narcotics of our prescriptions, if we had any, and the other person asked the same thing, the other people were asked the same thing, that right there seemed to be a problem with maybe a drug addiction for the person who was asking. So while the act of offering help may be well intentioned, it can inadvertently contribute to the dysfunctional behaviors in recipients and impact the well being of the helper. It is important to strike a balance between offering assistance and promoting independence and personal growth in others because she was well, that person was persistent and wanted to know if we had those drugs. And of course, we did not contribute. Not not that. No, 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 no. Okay. When help hurts, unexpected downsides of helping others, you can transform lives through mindful support while avoiding personal harm. Oh, yes. Now let's go to this one, the benefits of helping others. It feels good. The benefit of helping others, it feels good. Let's go here. 8 benefits of helping others. And we are in of the hearth. Well, I guess you might pronounce it hearth, Agarth, excuse me, .com. 8 benefits of helping others. And this is October 13th, 2021, and it's by Shannon. And we're going on. So when we help others, the idea is to benefit them. We're trying to do our part to make the world a better place. And that's their disclaimer. 8 benefits of helping others. Interestingly, a lot of research indicates that helping people around us actually boosts our own health and happiness. So here we go with 8 ways that being kind and generous benefits our own well being. Help someone along the way. We're talking about the pros and cons. Hello, Overseer Patricia Williams. I love you. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Hello, Sister Carol Williams Crossley. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Talking about the benefits, the pros, and the cons of helping others. Benefits of helping others, it feels good. Oh, yes, it does. People have known for years that it feels good to help others, but only recently have researchers identified some physiologic changes that occur when we lend a helping hand. So these changes include complex interactions between the parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous systems and a helper's high dopamine mediated euphoria. And so now you know this is right up my, as we say, my alley when it starts talking about the chemicals in the body and all of that, the dopamine and all of that. Oh, yes, because I really like to prove it. Okay. So it can have some physical effects on us helping people. People have known for years that it feels good to help others, but only recently have researchers identified some physiologic changes that occur when we lend a helping hand. These changes include complex interactions between the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous systems, and a helper's high, which is dopamine mediated euphoria. So, as a result of these changes, we feel an increase in our happiness and a warm glow, which is a feeling researchers refer to as moral elevation. It boosts our self esteem. Yes, it does. Researchers have found that people who volunteer have higher self esteem than people who don't volunteer. So, this particular benefit increases with consistency. The more regularly one volunteers, the more his or her self esteem and confidence increase. And this could be innocent. And these people, many people who volunteer, you would never know they volunteered unless you see them doing it or they tell you they do it, because some people just don't go out blabbing, blabbing. Okay, like what is it? The Bible tells us when we do something for people, we don't have to go broadcasting it all over the place. No. So it provides purpose is the next one. As we help others, we feel a sense of empowerment and fulfillment. We're also able to see our roles in the world around us. According to researchers, these feelings and this perspective can help each of us gain better understanding of our purpose and identity. And it is so true. Next, it cultivates optimism. Our own outlooks on life can be changed after we witness acts of kindness. Researchers have found that individuals who typically view the glass, here we go, remember we talked about pessimism just a little bit, now we're the opposite of that, which is optimism, which is a positive side, okay? So researchers have found that individuals who typically view the glass as being half empty, for example, pessimistic individuals, can become more positive and optimistic when they see how they can have positive impacts on the lives of others. Next, it helps keep things in perspective. Helping others gives us front row seat. It gives us a front row seat to witness their hardships. Seeing these difficulties can help us feel better about our own circumstances and practice gratitude. I remember one time, and I was really surprised, but I didn't let on. It's just that someone had visited me, and when that person started talking about the hardship, and you can think a person is really doing well, there's no evidence when they're out that they're struggling or anything like that, and so you can think that everybody, oh, he hasn't made, she hasn't made, and some people, oh, I wish I had it made like them. But let me tell you something, I was surprised when the person started telling me about the hardships they were experiencing at that time in their lives. I was in my refrigerator and my pantry, and I was doing what I believed was the right thing, and I was not turned down, because you never know until you know what's going on in a people's life, in a person. You hear me? A person's life, okay, or people's lives. So it creates a sense of belonging and fosters friendships. So while helping others, we have opportunities to meet new people, connect with our communities, and fellowship with existing friends. Therefore, face to face activities, volunteering at the food bank, driving an elderly neighbor to an appointment, taking a meal to a coworker who just had a baby, etc., help reduce feelings of isolation and loneliness. Next, it is contagious. Researchers have found that kindness can resonate through communities. In other words, when people witness altruism, they tend to turn around and act altruistically towards others. So it's done to me. I've seen this done. It's a good thing, so I'm going to pass it on. Yes, and an example is pay it forward. Paying it forward. I like that. They tend to turn around and act altruistically towards others. Because of this, one simple act of kindness can have a ripple effect that benefits an entire community. Then it promotes longevity. According to researchers, volunteering regularly can improve our stress management, help us. stave off disease, and alleviate loneliness. All three of these things are known to increase both length of life and life satisfaction. And here's our final thought here. Oh, this is so good, isn't it? Thank you all. I love you so much for being here with me. Final thoughts. The writer is saying, I'm not suggesting that we be kind and help others because it makes us feel good. We're supposed to help others regardless of how it makes us feel. Micah, the 6th chapter and the 8th verse. Luke, the 10th chapter and the 27th verse. Ephesians, the 4th chapter, the 31st through the 32nd verses. Philippians, the 2nd chapter and the 4th verse. Those are some scriptures you can go and look at, okay? We can look at over, we can read them again. However, there's no reason not to embrace and enjoy these benefits of altruism. In fact, the Bible even speaks of some of these benefits. Here we go. A generous person will be enriched, and the one who provides water for others will himself be satisfied. Proverbs 11 and 25. And that's another interpretation. So if you, there are some other articles that you can read about the benefits of helping others, then check out the resources. And so we are in of the heart.com, of of the thehearth.com. So how do you feel? I'm asking you a question. How do you feel when you help others? Do any of these benefits ring true for you? They all ring true for me. And especially because I don't say a lot, and many times people remind me of the things that I have done, or our group, the Inspiration of God Singers, the Inspiration of God Ministry, Greater Gospel Temple. People, for me to remember or think about them, someone will come up and say, I remember when you did this, I remember when you did that. And see, that's what gives me joy, because I'm not dwelling on it. Well, I did this for them. I don't ever hear anything. I don't worry about that. I go ahead and do what the Lord allows me to do, and I move on to whatever else He sends me on to. And how about you? I love you so much, and I'm going to sign off, even though I started 11 minutes late. I'm going to sign off on time today. Thank you so much for being here with me. So, help someone along the way. And there are pros and cons to helping people along the way. The pros and cons uh, of helping others include, the pros are boost health and happiness, rewarding nature, direct impact on individual lives. And then the cons, let's see, perpetuates perceptions of inequality and incompetence. Unsolicited help can contribute to dysfunction. Compassion, fatigue, and burnout can limit one's helping ability. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here with me. Tomorrow is at 1 p.m. It's from the Biblical Files of Dr. Mack. From the Biblical Files of Dr. Mack. So I hope you will join her tomorrow. And then on Thursday is Point of View with Miss Shirley Polk again. On Friday is the Mother's Board Inc., where we talk about politics, current events, sports, etc. Whatever the Lord gives us to talk about. And we have the facts, okay, and the resources. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're wonderful. You are awesome. I really, really, really appreciate you. I'm going to sign off now. Let's see. Enjoy the remainder of your day, night, evening, afternoon, whichever it is. Okay? I love you.